God says, something is happening behind your back. Your next-door neighbor is cutting all your roses. Yes, roses, those delicate, fragrant blooms that you painstakingly planted last spring. But before you dial 911 or rush out in a fit of rage, take a moment to ponder the metaphorical significance of this scenario. What does it mean when someone, metaphorically or literally, cuts down the fruits of your labor, your dreams, or your aspirations? In the tapestry of life, we often find ourselves confronted with situations where our efforts are thwarted, our progress impeded, or our creations destroyed. It could be a rival at work stealing credit for your ideas, a friend betraying your trust, or, in this case, a neighbor sabotaging your garden. But before we delve deeper into the implications of this curious scenario, let's take a step back and explore the concept of neighbors. Neighbors are more than just the people who live next door. They are an integral part of our lives, shaping our experiences, influencing our perspectives, and sometimes, testing our patience. They are the backdrop against which our daily dramas unfold, the characters in the story of our existence. In the case of our hypothetical neighbor, the one with a penchant for pruning your roses, their actions raise a myriad of questions. What motivates them to trespass on your property and vandalize your garden? Are they envious of your green thumb, resentful of your meticulously maintained lawn, or simply oblivious to the boundaries of common courtesy? Perhaps it's none of the above. Perhaps, like so many conflicts in life, it boils down to a simple misunderstanding. Maybe your neighbor genuinely believes they're doing you a favor by trimming your overgrown bushes or harvesting what they perceive as surplus blooms. After all, communication breakdowns are a common catalyst for neighborly disputes. But let's entertain a different hypothesis for a moment. What if there's more to this situation than meets the eye? What if your neighbor's actions are not merely a case of mistaken intentions or petty vandalism, but rather a symptom of deeper psychological or emotional issues? Consider this: jealousy is a powerful motivator. It can drive people to act in ways they wouldn't normally consider, leading them to sabotage others out of fear, insecurity, or a sense of inadequacy. In the realm of neighbors, jealousy can manifest in myriad ways, from passive-aggressive comments about your meticulously manicured lawn to outright acts of sabotage like the decimation of your prized rose bushes. Of course, it's easy to dismiss such behavior as irrational or immature, but the truth is that jealousy is a complex emotion that can cloud judgment and fuel destructive impulses. And when left unchecked, it can poison relationships, sow discord, and ultimately lead to a breakdown in community cohesion. But before we rush to judgment and label our neighbor as a jealous villain, it's important to remember that we are all capable of succumbing to envy from time to time. Whether it's coveting a neighbor's new car, envying a colleague's promotion, or resenting a friend's seemingly perfect life on social media, jealousy is a universal human experience. So, what can we do in the face of such envy-fueled conflicts? How can we navigate the murky waters of neighborly relations without succumbing to bitterness or resentment? The answer lies in empathy, the ability to put ourselves in another's shoes and understand their perspective, even if we don't agree with their actions. Instead of reacting with anger or indignation, we can choose to respond with compassion and understanding, recognizing that beneath the surface of our neighbor's behavior lies a complex web of emotions, insecurities, and unmet needs. But empathy alone is not enough. It must be accompanied by clear communication, boundaries, and a willingness to address conflict constructively. Instead of stewing in silence or retaliating with passive-aggressive gestures of our own, we can initiate a dialogue with our neighbor, express our concerns, and work together to find a mutually acceptable solution. Of course, resolving conflicts with neighbors is easier said than done, especially when emotions are running high and grievances have festered over time. In such cases, it may be necessary to seek outside assistance, whether from a mediator, a community leader, or a professional counselor. Ultimately, the key to overcoming envy-fueled conflicts lies in fostering a sense of community, empathy, and mutual respect. By recognizing our shared humanity and embracing our differences, we can transform our neighbors from adversaries into allies, turning conflict into collaboration and division into unity. So, the next time you catch your neighbor cutting down your roses, take a moment to pause and reflect on the deeper meaning behind their actions. Instead of reacting with anger or indignation, choose empathy. Reach out with an open heart and a willingness to listen. Who knows? You may just uncover a shared connection, a common struggle, or a newfound friendship amidst the thorns of adversity. It's not the roses that matter, but the relationships we cultivate with those around us. And by tending to the garden of neighborly relations with care, compassion, and understanding, we can create a community where envy withers and empathy blooms. In the tapestry of life, there are countless threads woven together, each representing a unique individual with their own hopes, dreams, and struggles. Our neighbors are but a few of these threads, intertwined with our own, creating a fabric of community that is both resilient and delicate. As we navigate the labyrinth of human interaction, it's important to remember that conflict is inevitable. Whether it stems from jealousy, misunderstanding, or genuine differences of opinion, conflict is a natural part of the human experience. What matters most is how we choose to respond to it. In the case of our hypothetical neighbor with a penchant for pruning, responding with empathy and understanding is the first step toward resolution. By acknowledging their perspective and seeking common ground, we can begin to bridge the divide that separates us, transforming conflict into an opportunity for growth and reconciliation. But empathy alone is not enough. We must also be willing to set boundaries and assert our needs in a respectful and assertive manner. Whether it's erecting a fence to delineate property lines or establishing guidelines for acceptable behavior, setting boundaries is essential for maintaining healthy relationships with our neighbors. Of course, setting boundaries can be easier said than done, especially when emotions are running high and tensions are simmering beneath the surface. In such cases, it may be necessary to seek support from friends, family, or even professional counselors who can offer guidance and perspective. In addition to empathy and boundaries, effective communication is also key to resolving conflicts with neighbors.